At this time, we'll go ahead and take questions for Coach Alford. We'll start middle of the room, fourth row.
Steve, wondering that Final Four where both Indiana and Providence were there, I wonder if you recall any chance encounters at all with Billy. I know you didn't get a chance to play each other. And then in general, do you have memories of watching Billy play basketball either on TV or in person?
Yeah, well, we were obviously the same era as players, and I obviously remember him. We didn't get to play each other. We didn't play against each other at all as players at the collegiate level or beyond, so didn't get a chance to do any of that, and really haven't met up as coaches either. So he's had an obviously terrific career at Florida, and I've had different stops along the way, but just a fierce competitor, very skilled, talented guard, high basketball IQ as a player, and kind of emulates that now as a coach. You know, his teams always play hard. They're extremely well coached, disciplined, but they have a lot of fun playing the game. And I think Billy, that's kind of what he emulated, I think, as a player, as somebody that just got the most out of his ability and played hard and played well, and his teams do the same thing. But our paths really haven't crossed that way. Just got a lot of respect for him, obviously.
We'll go to the right side, second row.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Coach, how much has Kyle Anderson's versatility, his ability to play point guard during some stretches at 6'9", impacted the success of your team offensively this season?
Oh, I don't know of anything that's been bigger for us. You know, from day one, back in April when we were hired and had to re-recruit the 6 guys that we had on scholarship, it's the first thing that we told Kyle was that we know you want to be a point guard, you're going to be our point guard, and we're going to right away present a lot of problems for people that are trying to match up to a 6'9" point guard. Not just a 6'9" point guard, a wingspan of 7'3". We're talking about a long, very, very long, big point guard. So he does so many things for us. He's our leading rebounder. He's got the most assists on the team. He's shooting the ball very well. I think the thing that probably gets undermined and not enough attention to is the way he's shooting the basketball. He's nearly shooting 50% at 3. He's done a really good job this summer of changing. He had a little bit of a pause button, as I told him, in his jump shot. And when you're trying to unwind 7'3" wingspan, sometimes you do have to pause. And he's gotten rid of that to where it's all one motion, and he's just shooting the ball at a high level. So I think that's created even more of a problem of how to guard him, because now he can shoot it to the three-point line. He's always been a terrific driver and finisher. He sees over traps so well. He passes out of tough situations at the last minute. And then I think what's happened, and as you long answered your question, really what's meant most of this team, is that it's become contagious. His ability to pass the ball has become contagious. We got basically playing an 8-man rotation, and 6 of the 8 guys have a positive assist-turnover ratio. We've had one of the best assist-turnover ratios all season long in the country. And it started with Kyle, but it just kind of went through our team, and we've been a very good passing team. And if we're going to have a chance with the challenge that's ahead of us tomorrow night, we're going to have to continue the ability to move the basketball well.
Right side toward the back, Pat.
Yeah, Coach, you and Billy have some things in common. One of them, obviously, is to have your sons on the team. Can you just talk about what that's like to have your both your sons with you on through the ride like this? Yeah,
it's just one of those special blessings that happen in the time of your career. I was a coach's kid, so growing up in Newcastle, I played for my dad, and my brother played for my dad, and I've had coaches that have been coaches' kids on my staff. Coach Neal at New Mexico, and now Coach Schilling here at UCLA. We're both coaches' kids as well. So I've had a lot of help along the line in preparing for this. And, you know, I think that's a unique situation and then I always think about the kid, because that's why I was at first. I was a coach's kid first before being on the other side of it. And to be a coach's kid's one thing. You know, I was a coach's kid at Newcastle High School. They're coach's kids at UCLA. It's a little bit different, and they've just handled it unbelievable. And you have fun with it. I think the bottom line, that's kind of been the message to my whole team. Have fun with it. And I want my own kids to do that as well. So Corey has been great for Bryce in getting him adjusted to what college basketball and college life is all about, because I think Bryce is much more mature beyond just being a freshman. He's played that way all year, and his brother's had a lot to do with that. But I think Billy would tell you what's a lot of fun is that you go to work early and you prep and you watch tape and you plan practices and you're doing all this leading up to 2, 3 o'clock of when your practice time is. It's a lot of fun when you're doing that, knowing that there's a piece of your family that gets to enjoy that as well. And I think those are the blessings of being in a father-son, coach-player relationship that makes it that much more enjoyable.
The left side, third row, and then we'll come back to the right.
Tom Kinsler, Denver Post. Steve, it's been 6 years, I think, since the Pac-10/Pac-12's had 3 Sweet 16 teams. Are you surprised it's taken that long? And what are your observations about the league after going through it first year?
Yeah, it's hard because I've only been a part of the Pac-12 for 1 year, but I will say it's a league that's really trending up. I think that trend probably started last year. We're only about 2 or 3 years removed from being a league that I think our league champion didn't even make the NCAA tournament. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Washington was a league champion. They didn't even get an invite. So that tells you where our league's gone from. I've been at New Mexico the past 6 years, and if you look at the Mountain West record against the Pac-12, there were a lot of Mountain West teams wanting to play the Pac-12, and I think that trend is reversing. I think you see the Pac-12 this year, we were the third-ranked league in the country pretty much consistently throughout the year. And then, as you mentioned, now you've got three teams that advanced. You've still got California and the NIT that's still playing. So it's been a league where you put 6 in the NCAA tournament and then 2 more in the NIT tournament. I think it's a league that's trending up, and it was a very going through it for my first time. It was a very difficult league. I think the true test of your league, how difficult are your home games? Everybody knows road games are hard, but if your home games are hard too, you've got a pretty good league. And I think if you look across our season, home games for all of us were very difficult.
We'll switch back to the right side, fourth row. We have 2 side by side.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Rebecca Hall, KTLA in Los Angeles. First of all, are you tired of hearing yet about UCLA's history with Florida? And second part of the question is, how do you prepare to attack such a stellar defense?
Well, we know we got a lot of challenges with Florida, so everybody might as well throw in the history too. So I don't know if the history is going to play much into the game, but it's just one more challenge that we try to get over. But we've enjoyed the process, and that's really what we've tried to do here in year one. And we've tried to lay a foundation. It is UCLA. It is a campus that is full of history and tradition of excellence. It's one of the reasons why we're excited about being there as a coaching staff and the players that come to UCLA. That's our motto throughout. Champions made here, and it is regardless of what sport, men or women, you look at UCLA. There's just champions everywhere, and so we're part of that, and we're part of that history. And you either embrace it and use it as a blessing, or it can become a burden. And we've tried from day one to make sure that it's a blessing for us. That I get a chance to walk by the Coach Wooden statue every day. I get a chance to coach in Pauley 23 years after being in this business and having a chance to. I got a chance to play for my dad. Got a chance to play for Coach Knight, and now to be coaching in an arena that Coach Wooden made famous, you really pinch yourself. And so we're trying to just enjoy that process and do everything we can to represent what has already been laid before us and do that the best that we possibly can. Yeah, and a lot's been made out of Florida's defense, and a lot's been made out of our offense. I think it'll be a lot more than just their defense and our offense. I think our defense is probably better than advertised, and I know Florida's offense is better than advertised. So I think you got 2 really good teams. You've got a Florida team that obviously has proved it over time, and this is a group of seniors that they've been right there. They've had incredible success for 3 years, and now here they've got this incredible win streak. And you go through a conference like the SEC and never lose in the tournament. This is a very, very good basketball team that we're playing, and an extremely well-coached team. So we know the challenges. We're playing our best basketball, and I think that's why it makes it for a great matchup. But you play Florida, you're going to have to score. If the game's in the 50s, that's probably not favoring UCLA. We need the thing to be a little bit more up-tempo than that.
Same row.
Coach Tom Corrin from ABC in Tampa. Mark Harlan took over as athletic director over University of South Florida. You know Mark pretty well. Your assessment of that, and he's going through a little tough time right now, what happened with Masiello and the situation there. Could you speak about Mark and his character? And
yeah, I was under Mark for about a year. Both Mark and Dan Guerrero were responsible for the hiring of me, at least in the process of interviewing and those type of things. And Mark's just like Dan as far as incredible character, great integrity. I've worked with him for a year, and he was phenomenal. We hated to see him leave. but we also know that that's a tremendous opportunity for him and his family. He's got a wonderful family, and we've made so many changes in such a short time in trying to implement the culture that we want, and Mark has done everything possible to help us in all those things. So, yeah, and that's a tough situation, but you're glad that you got Mark in charge, because I think that's what you want when you've got administrators, that when tough times do come, can you handle those tough times? And you know, when you're at UCLA, you go through some things on a daily basis sometimes, and Mark's always handled it very professionally and with the utmost integrity and character in mind, and I know he's going to do a terrific job at South Florida.
Back row, Mike.
Yeah, Mike Bianchi, Orlando Sentinel. Steve, obviously you played at a tradition-rich program. You coach at a tradition-rich program. Any added respect for Billy because he's built a program?
Oh, without question.
At a place
And to be somewhere 18 years and, you know, put your culture in right from the beginning, and a university that, you're right, had not had nearly the success in the past before Billy, and to put the stamp on it and have one of the premier programs, college basketball programs in the country, and do it as consistently as Billy has done it, he and his staff have just done a tremendous job. And I have the utmost respect for him. Always have, both as a player and then when he got into it as Marshall, and most of his coaching career has been at Florida. But he found his niche early at Florida. He found an institution that supported him and provided the things that he needed to be successful, and then he put his stamp on it in just about every way, shape, or form. And it's been fun to see, because he's one of the good guys in the business, and I've always wished him the best. And I always do that, except at 8:45 tomorrow.
Second row, right side.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Coach, I read where you're playing zone in about 37% of your possessions, a little bit more than your liking, or how would you say that the zone maybe has been effective for you guys this season?
Well, it's 37% more of liking of my college coach. You know, with us, I think we have to do what's best, but you know, Coach Knight would be the first to tell you, regardless of what your defense is, just be good at it. And we've been pretty good at it. You know, we've done a nice job because we've got length. When you start a 6'9" point guard and your other two guards are 6'5", and then you got two 6'10" forwards, you've got a lot of length. And so we're able, and we're pretty athletic. When we come with Zach and Bryce off the bench, these are two kids that are pretty athletic, Tony Parker in the middle. So we're able to change up some things, and it's been successful for us. We've been able to extend it a little bit, but really at the half court to mix in a little bit of our zone and a little bit of the man, it just seems to have worked for us. It's our guys are interested in it. Our guys work hard in it. So obviously going game to game, we're never for sure exactly what percentage it's going to be. We kind of feel that out and make the adjustments as we go. But that zone's been helpful for us this year.
We'll take two more for Coach Alford, left side, third row, and then we'll come over to the right side.
Tom Kinsler, Denver Post again. Coach, Archie Miller said that this time of year, with the duration of the timeouts, that he didn't think depth was as big a factor. Do you concur with that?
Yeah, not just with depth, but finding out things to say in the huddle. Those I think today was our 103rd or 104th practice on the year, and I've been doing this 23 years, and because the schedule was moved up, we started 2 weeks early, so the season's gotten even longer, which I wasn't in favor of. I like that October 15th date much better. But that said, it gets longer that way. So these guys understand you're not going to change who you are when you get to mid-March. So the timeouts, I've sit there and I've actually looked at them, and we've tried to joke around with them to maybe cut some of the into that time, because they are long timeouts. But I would agree that you get this time of year, if you're healthy, I don't think depth, depending again of how you play, if you're a pressing team for 40 minutes, I think depth still comes into play where you've got to go into your bench. But we've pretty much settled into an 8-man rotation, and I would assume that's going to be our rotation again unless we get into serious foul trouble.
This will be our final question for Coach Alford. Go ahead.
Don Wade, Memphis Daily News. Steve, you obviously played at a place where there were a lot of expectations, coaching at one now. But when you look back, do you think Coach Knight had any more or less expectations that you or any coach today has from a fan base?
Oh, no, and I just know in my 4 years that, at Indiana, the goal was the same every year. We only won one in my 4 years. We won it as a senior, but, our goal at Indiana under Coach Knight every year was to win a national championship. Now, you obviously are trying to win Big Ten championships, and if you're in exempt tournaments and those type, be the best basketball team you can be. But even going beyond winning a national championship, Coach Knight's approach was always get better. Every day, get better. Get a little bit better so that you're one team in November, you're another team in December. You just keep getting better as a basketball team. And I've tried to do that same philosophy, and I've had teams that have done it, have teams that obviously have struggled with it. But that's what I appreciate about this team. We're a much better team here in March than what we were in November and December. And that's a great credit to the players. They've worked extremely hard. Some of these guys, I'm their third college coach. That's not easy. And they've just responded to the coaching change extremely well. They've done everything we've asked them to do, and now we're one of 15 other teams still playing. So, but when you're at UCLA, that expectation is high, and regardless whether it's your first year, your 10th year, whatever it is, you start each season trying to win a national championship.
Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.